Hello and welcome to this short video about Jaguar XK8 front engine cover removal. This is episode 12 in my series of videos explaining how I change my cam chains and cam chain tensioners. Okay, to remove your front engine cover you're going to need an 8mm, 13mm and 15mm socket, a ratchet wrench, pipe grips, a screwdriver and some way of catching all the coolant, ideally a bucket and a funnel. So in order to get at your front engine cover you're going to have to remove these two coolant pipes at the top of the coolant tower, your idler pulley, your tensioner. I have already removed the water pump pulley and the VVT actuator you'll also have to remove, and that's just to get at your front engine cover itself. Okay, so first the idler pulley, take your 13mm socket and undo it. It's normally tightened to about 60 Newton meters, but even so it still comes off very easily. Next is your auxiliary belt tensioner. It needs a 15mm socket. It's tightened up normally to 40 Newton meters, but again it comes off relatively easily. Now you need to remove these two coolant hoses, and by removing these two coolant clips, and you're going to need a bucket and a funnel. The bigger funnel the better, as I found out. It may be better if you put some sort of plastic around to funnel the water in as well, because there's a lot of splashing going on. Even though the water isn't under pressure, there's going to be quite a lot of it coming out. So in order to compress these clips to get them off, get your pipe grips and basically just squeeze these two tabs together. It will enlarge the clip and you'll be able to move it up or down the hose, whichever suits you, to get the pipe off. Don't take the pipe off at the same time, just take the clip away and you can take the pipe off at your leisure. The second clip is a little bit more awkward to get at because it's underneath the tower, but you can get at it, no problem. Okay, so you undo the pipes, you catch the fluid in the funnel if you're lucky. As I say, I managed to get most of it. I would say I got 80% of the coolant in the bucket, but there was quite a lot of spillage and a bit of tidying up afterwards. Lesson learned there. Okay, the next step is to remove these VVT actuators, one each side. These designs vary from the year of the manufacturer. Mine was 1996. I don't seem to be able to find much in relation to these other than the fact that they're not stock items anymore, so I've got to be careful. Okay, to remove this there's the wiring socket, two bolts and two harness clips. Okay, to undo the socket you need to depress this metal piece at the bottom here towards the body of the socket and pull up. Very, very easy, it comes up, no problem. Secondly, undo the wiring harness. I started using a screwdriver to lever it out, but this wasn't successful. If you get two fingers either side of the clip and just literally pull it out, it seems to be the best way. Even force and it'll come away. Okay, so you've got all the wiring harness out of the way. Now just undo the two bolts, again with 8mm socket. And you'll need to lever this gently side by side to remove it. It's held by an O-ring, as you'll see in a moment, and literally just don't want to do any damage really to the body of the actuator. So you see, once it's removed you'll see the O-ring inside. This looks quite depressed and it will need replacing before I fit the whole thing back together. And it's not in the kit, I believe, although I'll double check that shortly. Okay, once you've done one side you'll need to do the other, and then you move on to the actual removing the front engine cover itself. So you've got everything away literally to allow you to do this one task. Now this involves 24 bolts. You need an 8mm socket. The bolts are normally done up to 11 to 13 Newton meters, so not very tight, so it won't take much effort to get them all off. What I would do is count them before you start levering away at your cover to get it off. if any of these are remaining in there and you get a bit physical, you're going to break your casting. Okay, so the way I got it, I seemed to be gentle enough to get it off. Once all the bolts are out, you wiggle the top corners. That sounds a bit funny, but that's what I did. So I got my hand just inside the top of the front cover and wiggled it, and gently, bit by bit, the cover worked loose. So it's only really the seal retaining it. Actually, mostly where the castings interchange in your engine, and there's additional sealant being added to maintain the seal, which is something you have to do when you refit the seal. So at the end, the cover's away, and then you'll find you probably need to remove any excess seal or sealant around the mating area there. I did it straight away. You don't have to do it straight away because I'd like to be tidy. Okay, so there you reveal your primary chains and tensioners and guides. Great. Next job, change them all. Whilst I was looking at them, I did notice some damage on all of the guides. It's a bit glad I'm actually doing this job. Bits and chunks were missing. As I actually took the front engine cover off, a bit of plastic fell out on my bench. I thought, here we go, this is definitely been worth doing. So, thank you very much for watching. My next video is going to be me changing the cam chains and the cam chain tensioners. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more XK8 videos.